The Cy Young is a lock.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This podcast is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB or enter promo code LockedOnMLB for a free water bottle with any order. You don't want to take you won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you. And I'll tell you, I have a pair and I don't like taking them off. Right, Steve? With me as always is Steve. Steve knows all about bird dogs.
Oh, yeah. I love my bird dogs. I be wearing those things all the time.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually wearing them right now.
Oh, look at that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I missed the memo. Hey, guys, thanks for clicking on the show here today. Of course, we got to talk all about Gerrit Cole in just a second. It's also FanMail Friday, so we're answering your burning questions. You submitted them on YouTube. You texted us some questions as well, so we got to get to those here today. Stacey, the Yankees do end up salvaging the finale. Gerrit Cole, man, Jesus, what a way to go out! Can I just say that off the bat? Like, what a way to finish your season at home here. He's gonna get one more start, but I mean that was everything that you could have ever wanted.
Now, what were we saying on yesterday's show, jokingly about? Oh, okay, Michael King kind of showed people what's up, and Cole probably wanted to come out and be like, I could do just as well as you do. And he, wasn't as dominant with the strikeouts, but only gave up the one earned run on 2 hits, no walks, just like King, 9 strikeouts and 8 innings. And, everyone was talking about how he was perfect through the first 5 1/3. And it was so much fun watching him tonight. Like, he just had so many things working for him. And it seemed so easy for him because coming off that start against Pittsburgh, where he just labored through those 5 innings, and this looked like a breeze against the Blue Jays. So it was just really impressive all around.
Yeah, I loved it. That cutter looked incredible. He was dotting well on the corners. His fastball was playing well up in the zone. His off speed was moving. Like it was vintage Gerrit Cole. Like, that's everything he was signed to do and more. Like you said, 5 1/3 perfect. That last out in the 8th solidified 200 innings pitched this season for the 6th time. Like, he's a freaking workhorse, man. Like, he just goes out there every 5 days and just, I dare you to hit it. That's just like, I dare you. And to watch him again last night, and we'll get to see him one more time in Toronto. Hopefully that's more spoiler level when he sees them next week out in Toronto. But that he gave a little tip of the cap, and like, what a season, man. What a freaking season for Gerrit Cole. I've said it for a month. If this guy doesn't get Cy Young, then there's no legitimacy to the award. Let's be real. And I think at this point, look, all respect to Luis Castillo. I think he's had a great year. But he has not been Gerrit Cole level. Gerrit Cole has been ace of ace, right? And Luis Castillo has been ace. Look, Luis Castillo's a great year. He's a great year. He's gonna finish second. And if Gerrit Cole didn't have the year he had, he'd be winning the Cy Young. And that's great for him. Hats off. Incredible season. But Gerrit Cole's just on another level. He's just on another level. And I don't know if you wanted to expand on this too, Stace. For me, I feel like we're like still just scratching the surface when it comes to Gerrit Cole. Because what he did last night, I feel like he can do almost every night.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this maybe last month, where I can see him, once he loses his velocity, becoming more like an Andy Pettitte type of pitcher who can pitch into his early 40s and still do well enough to win games, pitch complete games. Like, I can see him changing his pitching style as he gets older and not be one of those guys trying to throw 98 still at 40 years old. Because you don't want him to get injured, but I feel like he could become one of those crafty pitchers that we always like to see sometimes, who get older and adapt to things. And I can see him doing that because he has so many pitches to work with. And when they're working well, like they were on Thursday, he can get anyone out.
Oh, anybody. No one's going to catch up to that. Stacey, quick question for you on this. Like I said, that's Cy Young, done, wrapped up, put it to bed, it's over. Is he unanimous?
No. I think they'll be the people who have the whole, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it works the same for MVP and Cy Young, but I don't think it'll be unanimous. I think there'll be like some stragglers there, maybe like Seattle guys.
Some guys that are brave, or just want to go, well, I know he's going to win anyway, but.
See, I don't like when writers do that. I find that so annoying.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Gerrit Cole's a Cy Young. It's not close. It's not close.
But I found it interesting. I was watching the post game before we started recording, and Jack Hurry had said how Cole went into his bullpen session between this start and the previous start where he was having issues and figured out mechanically what he was doing wrong. And you saw the fruits of his labor. And it's so great watching a pitcher like him knowing, all right, something's up here. Let me figure this out. Let me work on this. And then getting it right and coming out and having the game that he had.
Yeah, beautiful. Let us know how you're feeling in the comments section here on YouTube about Gerrit Cole's season, his latest outing, and of course, answer my question that I posed to Stacey. Do you think Gerrit Cole at this point not only has done enough to win the Cy Young, but is he the unanimous American League Cy Young Award winner when it comes in a little bit of time? Stacey, the offense provided enough. Jake Bauers off of the bench, man, going deep with that 3-run shot. That was a big part of the offense last night. Nice to see Estevan Florial with an RBI knock there in the 6th inning. Also drew a walk later on in the game, and then Aaron Judge with an absolute ripper there in the bottom of the 7th. And you're thinking that 3-run shot's going to be enough because Cole gave you plenty. And the only run on that wild pitch in the 8th, but. Weirdly enough, those 2 RBI doubles ended up being a big difference maker because Clay Holmes did not look like Clay Holmes that he's been looking like lately there in the 9th. And to be fair, it wasn't all his fault there. He had settled down, got the ground ball, and Gleyber obviously with 2 tough throws. So, but still, nonetheless, got the victory. Stacey, I think this may be one of the worst videos we play this season. We had bold predictions like we do every week here on Locked On Yankees, which, by the way, that means we only have 1 week of bold predictions left. This thing is wrapping up quickly. Let's see how we did in our penultimate bold predictions of the year. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with your bold prediction for this Blue Jays series?
Is it bold to think that the Yankees are going to end Romano's streak? I don't know what game, though, but I think in one of these games, he's going to blow a save.
My bold prediction here for this series, I'm going to go with my tried and true guy right now, Oswald Peraza. I think in at least 2 of these games, he's going to have multi-hit performances. 1, Jordan Romano never pitched.
Right.
2, Blue Jays never had a save opportunity.
Right.
And 3, Oswald Peraza went 0 for and did not play on Thursday.
Yeah, Yankees' fault. It's the Yankees' fault that Jordan Romano didn't pitch because every game that was close ended up not being close in the later innings, and he didn't need to pitch. So what are you going to do?
Yeah,
didn't see that happening.
Pretty bad in that one. So one more, or I guess only a couple more looks at this scoreboard here for the season. Stacey still leading my minuscule 0.1 point. Stacey leads by 4.9 with 5 points. I kind of want to go back to Stace and see, did I unjustifiably give you points? I want to recount. I think that's what I want. I'm calling for a recount. I think I'm within the margin of error. I think I deserve a recount.
Okay.
You're like, Steve, I don't care. I don't know what you're talking about. Stacey, some sour news on Thursday as well before we head to a quick break. The Somerset Patriots were eliminated last night from the Eastern League playoffs. They lost in the division finals to the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Man, they just did not get the offense they needed, scoring just 2 runs in the 2 games they played. Richard Fitz, former guest of this podcast, looked really good on the mound there in game 2 last night. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. What a way to wrap up the season for Richard Fitz. We'll see if he starts the year in Triple-A next year. I think he very well could. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him maybe get a quick little couple starts in Double-A before getting called up. But tip of the hat, good year for Richard Fitz, that's for sure. Wrapped it up with a good one, but not enough. The Patriots offense just did not show up, and tip of the caps to Binghamton. They end up sweeping that series, and man, what could have been that Somerset team from beginning to end was an incredible ride and an incredible watch, and it's just such a bummer they couldn't pull it out here.
It's like the Yankees, like the big club. They're so great in the regular season and in the playoffs.
Let's hope that's not a trend here for these young kids moving forward.
I'm just kidding. They did a really good job. I feel really bad, and good for Fitz. I was happy for him and his performance because he's a good dude, and he was a nice guest to have on our show this year.
Awesome. I'll leave that link in the episode description in case you're one of the newer viewers here and you've never watched that or seen that. I will leave our interview with Richard Fitz. He was awesome. Totally great time to have him on the show. So go check that out if you haven't already. And of course, that means that all Yankee affiliates have now been eliminated from the postseason. The Hudson Valley Renegades lost in the finals in the South Atlantic League. Somerset's out, and then Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Tampa did not qualify. So tough, man. They were right there. I really thought Somerset was going to win the whole thing. Let us know how you're feeling about all this stuff. Let us know how you're feeling about Gerrit Cole in the comment section here on YouTube. We're going to step aside one time. When we come back, your questions. We have a whole bunch of them to get to, so let's do that next. This episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. You guys already know about Bird Dogs. It's the best place to buy men's shorts and pants that come in with built-in underwear. Straight up. Bird Dogs uses anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. We were talking about it earlier in the show, Stacey and I. We love our Bird Dogs. They're super comfortable, versatile, and cheaper than other reputable brands. And of course, Locked On Yankees listeners, you guys got a chance to get a free water bottle when you place your order at birddogs.com. They have a bunch of different stuff there, a bunch of different styles. You're going to find something that's going to fit you perfectly. You can go to birddogs.com/lockedonmlb, or of course, while you're there, enter the promo code LockedOnMLB at checkout. And again, you're going to get a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. Again, that's birddogs.com/lockedonmlb for a free water bottle at checkout. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. And this episode is also brought to you by DoorDash. Look, you've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites for years, and now you can get grocery delivery too. Isn't that awesome? You'll get exactly what you ordered, or they'll make it right. So sit back and enjoy quality groceries just like you picked them yourself. If you want even more value, you can save on all your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with a DoorDash membership. And of course, just for watching the show, you're going to get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use the code LockedOnMLB at checkout. Limited time offer and terms apply. That's 50% off your $20 no minimum subtotal and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LockedOnMLB. Don't forget, that's promo code LockedOnMLB. 50% off your first order with DoorDash. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Hey, don't forget to download the SiriusXM app. It's available now, and you can listen to every Yankees game on there. You guys already know all about that. That's the SiriusXM app. You can listen to this weekend's D-back series and all the final games this year on there. Coming up on Monday, we alluded to it earlier, Everydayers. It's our last Miners Monday. Pour one out for Miners Monday. It's our last one of the year. So we have to talk about these playoff runs a little bit more in depth. We also got to talk about some postseason awards. There was a couple of all-stars named. So we got to talk about those guys coming up on Monday. So hit subscribe. Stacey, it's FanMail Friday. We already know. You guys know. FanMail Friday. Let's go ahead and get to your questions. Subtexters, you guys always get priority. So let's get to those questions first. First one coming from Ruben, asking us, Stace, what would you think about Cashman being promoted and Kim Ng becoming GM? Her contract is up. Stacey, Kim Ng, Yankees general manager?
I would love that.
Wow. Love.
Oh, love. Yeah, she should have been a general manager at least 15 years ago. It was a crime that it took so long for her to be hired as a GM, because she's been around just as long as a lot of these other guys, and even longer than some of the guys who have become GMs in the time that she didn't. So I would absolutely love that. I mean, she's worked with the Yankees. She's familiar with how things go. And I think that would be fantastic.
Not only worked with the Yankees, but worked with the Yankees for a long time. Like, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, I interned here. It's like,
she was there. She was here for a long time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that could go a long way here in a relationship. I think what's more interesting about this side of it, Stacey, is that now you kind of have a bit of a track record on Kim Ng as a general manager. And look, it hasn't been all hunky-dory in Miami. It obviously all hasn't panned out, but this season they've been a lot better. Soler has bounced back, which has been nice and kind of, makes you feel better about that free agent signing for Kim Ng. So, yeah, I don't know about Cashman being promoted. I don't know what's higher than GM. I mean, president of baseball ops. Like, I don't know. That's all optics stuff, like, honestly, when you get to that point. So I don't know about that side of the question, Stace. But, yeah, kind of interesting that the Marlins haven't gotten a contract going with Kim Ng here, so she very well could be a free agent.
I if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm crossing my fingers on both hands because I would just love that. I really would. I feel like there needs to be new blood in certain positions, GM, and things need to change just a little bit.
Let us know how you're feeling. Kim Ng, Yankees GM. What a whirlwind that would be. Thank you, Ruben, for your question. All right, next one coming up here from one of our longtime subtexters, Betty. What are your top 3 predictions for Yankees signings during the offseason? Stacey, instead of us going 3-3, because
I can't even
six free agent signings.
I can't think of 3.
Let's go ahead and combine them here. I'm gonna go out here and say I think the Yankees are going to go after Kevin Kiermaier.
That would be interesting. I would rather have him making catches for the Yankees than making catches against the Yankees. That pain in the rear end. That would be a good outfielder to have, not. Although, I mean, defensively, yes. Offensively, and I don't know. See, I don't know about that. I feel like they need to help the offense, really.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. But you do know, and we've talked about it, question mark in center field for 2024.
Right.
You toss enough money at Kiermaier, the bat's not going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread here, but it's serviceable, and he gives you plus in the outfield, kind of Bader-like, but minus injuries here. So,
True. That's true. Yeah, that could be a good one.
And, of course, plenty of experience in the AL East.
Yeah. Yeah. Between Tampa and Toronto. And did he play anywhere else? I'm trying to think of other places, because one of my Toronto friends on Twitter, when I called him a pain in the butt on Twitter, she's like, oh, we used to hate him when he played for Tampa, but now he's ours and we love him. It's like, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He's great. Great defensively. Yeah. Screw it, Yamamoto. Let's go. Let's do bold predictions here. Why not, Betty? I mean, you're tossing us up a layup, and I'm going to throw this thing down. Give me Yamamoto. Let's do it. I'm about it.
That would be good. I'm trying to think of who, because I don't see them getting Bellinger. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm trying to think of some of the other guys that you mentioned in all those episodes we were talking about different free agents that they could get. And who they'd be better off getting, what position they need to fill.
Yeah, you're obviously looking for outfielders right now, and you're looking for a left-handed bat. You're always looking for a left-handed bat. You're not looking at the catching market. You don't really need a first baseman with Rizzo coming back and DJ being the second there, and you always have Oswaldo if you really, really needed it. So I don't think they're going to go after like a Rhys Hoskins or anything like that. Just for the memes, Joey Gallo reunion. Just for the memes.
Oh my God. And that would be, people would just be like, you're supposed to get offense, because when he came over here, I was happy when they got Gallo and Rizzo, because I thought, oh my God, 2 left-handers, awesome. Both have pop. I know Gallo strikes out a lot, but who cares, because he hits home runs, and it didn't work out. And I feel like the Yankees have had other guys where their first go around wasn't great, and then their second go around wasn't great. Javi Vasquez. I don't want to see that again with Joey Gallo.
Yeah, they could go after an arm here too out of the pen. I imagine they're going to have to do something with losing Wandy, and
Michael King, because he's going to be a starter.
Yeah, now he's starting. Yeah, so they might go out. They might sign probably like 1 or 2 bullpen arms here in the offseason as well, at least for the major league side.
Yeah.
Thank you, Betty, for your question. One more here in this segment, and Stacey, I'll take this one from Bruce. asking us, just curious where you guys get your, quote, insider info. Team insiders, national press? Well, you want me to reveal my hand, don't you, Bruce? Look, I've mentioned it on a couple of occasions here that, I worked for the Rail Riders last season, so I have friends in minor league baseball. I worked in minor league baseball for years. So, I know people inside and outside of the Yankees system. Occasional texts here and there, and, you make friends and, without going too into detail, that's where we get that kind of information. We don't use that like crazy. We're not in the breaking news business. We're more in the reactionary and general info business for you guys. So yeah, we get a lot of our information here from the big writers that you guys know as well. We pull it from the internet, we pull it from the Athletic, we pull it from a whole bunch of sources. We make sure it's all trusted before we say anything. Yeah, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of how the show works. That's kind of a big part of what I do on the show. And if you've ever wondered, because Stacey always says with me as my producer, that's what Steve does. Steve's the producer. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff, is pulling the information, double checking it, fact checking, and things like that, to make sure that we don't say something at least too stupid that isn't a bold prediction. So that's how the sausage gets made. Thank you, question for your Bruce. Thank you, Bruce, for your question. Appreciate it. We're going to step aside one last time. We have a couple more questions to get to here before the weekend is over, so stick around.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. This weekend, the Jets will be clashing against the Patriots on Sunday afternoon, and it's a big week all around for the NFL. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, don't forget Sirius XM is the place to listen to Yankees games this season and every season. Download the app today for free. Get yourself a free trial. All right. Hey, couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap this thing up for you folks. This first one is coming from Angelino. Stacey Angelino on subtext asking us, do you guys think Yankees should modify the facial hair ban where the players can have beards as long as they are neat, is supposed to be neat and trimmed? I personally think it's time to let the players be themselves and see if that somehow changes the culture a little bit. Your thoughts? Stacey, we've dove into this topic a couple times, but if you wanted to reiterate your thoughts on the facial hair stuff.
Okay. I used to be one of those people who always was like, no, because I'd rather them not have any kind of facial hair at all, because I just don't like seeing guys who look homeless. No offense, but some of the guys on other baseball teams look homeless, and just like they have birds living in there. They look like they have birds living in their beards. Like, I don't understand how their wives allow them to do that. When David Robertson went over to the White Sox, he grew a bit of a beard, which surprised me because I didn't think he could do that because he always looked so baby-faced. And it was neat and it was trimmed, and I was like, oh. I'm like, if the Yankees allowed that, that wouldn't be a bad thing. And I think I said this, we talked about this before. They allowed Gerrit Cole to have a little more hair than normal. And I feel like they're loosening up a little bit. And I think if someone gets in Hal's ear and says, look, let them at least grow a little facial hair, but they have to trim it, and you won't allow them to have, beards down to their chests. I think someone can actually make them change that policy because, George did it 50 years ago when he bought the team. It's outdated and they need to end it.
I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, do you ever see a world where the Steinbrenners allow them to have any facial hair whatsoever? Like in the
Besides a mustache?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think someone can get into Hal's ear. I don't know who it needs to be. Maybe me. Someone get me to talk to. I'll talk to Hal. I'll convince him. Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever see it unless it's owned by somebody else. I don't think it's ever going to be that way. I think at this point they just dug their heels and they can't back out. The second part of it though, change the culture. I don't know about that part. Would it change any culture, or would it just allow guys to just be like, all right, I feel better?
Yeah, I think it would just allow them to feel better because I can imagine it's a pain in the butt shaving your face. Not every day, because you see them, like when they're on the road, you see some of the guys have scruff because they're not at Yankee Stadium, and it's probably a little more lax when they're on the road, and then they have to have the clean face. I don't think so, because they have to wear suits on the road trips, and they'll keep that around. Like that's not going to change. Like that's
Stuffy. It's stuffy.
Yeah, like that's they still do, but they did do goofy things. 2017's team was a lot looser for some reason. Like, Judge and Matt Holliday wore matching Sandlot shirts on a road trip. And, they did things like that. And that sort of stuff is creeping in a bit. And I kind of wish they would allow it because, it's not like the Yankees didn't have fun when they were winning World Series, but they were a little more stuffy than other teams.
They kind of are this year, too. This year hasn't been as,
well, they're losing.
Fun. Yeah, they haven't been having fun.
I mean, because other people have said that too. They're like, oh, they're not fun. It's like, well, I mean, would you have fun if you're losing 9 games in a row? I wouldn't have fun either.
Yeah. Thank you, Angelino, and thank you to all our subtexters. You guys always get priority for FanMail Friday. We appreciate your continued support of the show. One more here coming from our YouTube community, Stacey. This is coming from Marcelo Ragacy 3033 asking, what did pitchers do before Tommy John surgery was invented? Thank you, Marcelo, for your question. This is a very simple answer. Their careers ended.
Pretty much.
That was it, man. There was no fix for what they used to call dead arm. Once upon a time, it was called dead arm. If you tore your UCL, that was it. Guys' careers ended. And then Tommy John came around and explored a little bit, found a doctor by the name of Frank Jobe who invented the surgery. He fixed it. They don't do the exact same style that he did back then, but Tommy John went on to have a pretty successful career after the tear, pitched for a couple of more years and lived fine after that. So extremely revolutionary. But yeah, very simple answer to that one. That was it. Yeah. Tear and you're done.
Yeah, so, dead arm is different now. When people say a guy has a dead arm, it's just really that he's tired. It's not the same as it was, 50, 55 years ago before Tommy John surgery.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if that surgery was never found. Shohei's career's over.
Yeah, so many guys' careers are over.
Didn't Snell have it? Grichuk's career would have been over. I think he had Tommy John.
Crazy.
Jason Dominguez's career could be over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot. Very scary. So thank you, Frank Jobe. Thank you, Tommy John. And thank you to doctors all over the place who performed those surgeries extremely successfully.
Advanced them to the point where some guys are coming back faster than normal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've done a great job advancing that surgery. And it has been a blessing to us as baseball fans. So all hail the Tommy John surgery. Thank you guys for your questions. We appreciate them. We love doing these Friday shows. It's a whole bunch of fun. You can always leave questions on FanMail Friday. And just a quick programming note for you guys who stuck around the whole time. Next week is going to be our last FanMail Friday, of course, of the season. But it's going to be our last FanMail Friday for 2 weeks. So that FanMail Friday coming up next week will be the last one. The week after, so don't worry, not this coming week, but the week after the season is over, we're going to take a quick breather. Stacey and I are going to take that Friday show off, so we're only going to deliver 4 episodes that week, just so you're all aware. Every day is just so you know, you aren't going to get 1 episode all year. 1 episode. We're just going to take a quick breather. We're going to take a Friday off, catch our breath, and then we'll be back to 5 episodes the week after that. So don't worry, but just so you know, if you have questions, get them in for next week because that's your last chance for a couple of weeks. So thank you guys again. We appreciate it. Miners Monday, last one coming up in a couple of days, so hit subscribe, and that's going to do it for this week's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you on Monday.